Hello, dear viewers. I am a global nationalist. I support nationalism in my country, India, and in all countries around the globe. Today, I will be talking about nationalism outside South Asia, and the country I want to talk about today is the country of United Kingdom. Uh, today I want to talk about Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the UK, and I want to answer the question of whether Boris Johnson is or is not a nationalist. For that, let me show you where I'm some what I've read, and so you can understand how I've come to my conclusions. Here, I wanted first of all talk about uh, the word nationalist and what it means. A nationalist means connected with the desire of a group of people within a country for political independence. It also means connected with a person's great love for their nation. It is often associated with the belief that their nation is better than any other nation, and in this case is often used showing disapproval. Now, so those are the main features of a nationalist. And so let me go deeper into this. According to George Orwell, one of the most intellectually independent commentators of the 20th century, in a 1945 essay, wrote, "A nationalist is one who thinks solely or mainly in terms of competitive prestige. His thoughts always turn on victories, defeats, triumphs, and humiliations. He sees history, especially contemporary history, as the endless rise and decline of great power units, and every event that happens seems to him a demonstration that his own side is on the upgrade and some hated rival is on the downgrade." Now, according to uh, these explanations of nationalism, is Boris Johnson a nationalist or not? Uh, we have to first say that because Boris Johnson supported Brexit, supported a Leave campaign in the beginning, and eventually passed a deal through Parliament that allowed the United Kingdom to leave Britain in 2019, and we can say that he is a nationalist according to this basic definition. However, nationalism also means that the person is someone who respects his country's laws and their institutions and respects all the people and in them and does not uh, discriminate against them, but rather looks at them as the whole of the nation. And to see whether Johnson follows all these, we have to look at his time as prime minister, as what he's done. So he was made the prime minister after winning cons- the competition for the election as a Conservative Party leader after Theresa May's resignation. And his main goal in his first term was to get uh, a Brexit agreement passed in Parliament. For various reasons, uh, the UK Parliament could not do it, and so he had an election in October 29 in December 2019, and in this election, the Conservative Party won with 43.6% of the votes and more than 600 seats, which is one of the biggest victories for a Conservative Party ever. And its landslide majority of 80 seats is its biggest since 1987 under Margaret Thatcher. So we can see that the British people supported Brexit loud and clear and wanted Boris to get Brexit done. So we can see then that was a major issue for deal for him, and he eventually got Brexit done, and the United Kingdom left Britain. So, according to that, yes, he is a nationalist. But we also have to look at his other uh, policies. His cabinet, for example, um, his cabinet included uh, many ministers. A quarter of those who were appointed were women, and it set a record for ethnic minority representation, with four secretaries of state and two additional ministers. Sorry, coming from minority backgrounds. Now, what does this say? This shows that Boris Johnson is a nationalist, but is not a nativist. He does not support people who are ethnic Britons, but supports everyone who lives in Britain. This means that he is a nationalist, that he supports all British citizens. If like, and I do, and because he's a conservative, and the Conservative Party doesn't practice vote bank politics like the Labour Party does, where directly appeals to minority groups and the goes against majority, like giving minority groups quotas and benefits because they're from the minority while not doing the same for the majority. And they often give positions in government and other institutions to minorities at the expense of the majority. I don't think that this is what has happened here, because Boris Johnson never said that he would uh, support minority groups over the majority. And so I think that people who, minority um, community members who are part of his cabinet, got there because of their own uh, competence, or from Boris Johnson's point of view. I don't think that this is vote bank politics. Although it might be, I don't see any solid evidence of that. So, yes, on his terms of his cabinet, I think he is a nationalist. And also, he has generally wanting to make Britain a strong country, which can be seen in his spending plans, where he increased public sector spending. He increased an extra 20,000 police officers would be hired. High speed broadband rollout would increase. This shows that he wants security for the people of Britain, and he wants to improve their uh, infrastructure. And both of these actions would make Britain a stronger country. So, yes, again, this is proof that he is a nationalist. But there's also the fact that uh, Boris Johnson has not succeeded in stopping illegal immigration into the United Kingdom, and illegal immigrants are still entering the United Kingdom, which is a major problem. So I hope that he will fix that. And also, I think his hypocrisy and confusion regarding his COVID policies is very concerning and does not show him to be a nationalist, because, first of all, he confused the people of the United Kingdom by first saying that he was against lockdowns and for herd immunity, and then going back on that and supporting lockdowns. And his performance in the pandemic was not good, where a large number of people per capita in Britain died. And that also shows him not to be a nationalist, someone who uh, failed to protect the lives and health of his people. That's his primary duty. And also his blatant hypocrisy in, if not attending, at least supporting, a Christmas party last Christmas when the rest of the United Kingdom was in lockdown for Christmas, which is very unfair and hypocritical. And the fact that he has not condemned this and asked all his ministers, other members of government to follow the lockdown rules, just like the normal people have to, is also a sign that he is not a nationalist, that he doesn't put his nation first, but rather puts his own comforts and desires first. So I guess in half and half, on one point, he supports Britain's independence and political sovereignty by supporting Brexit. Two, he does not discriminate against the majority community or the minority community, but supports all of them, which is again a nationalist position. But however, he has failed to stop illegal immigration to the United Kingdom, and which can be seen in the refugee crisis between the United Kingdom and France, where France is sending illegal immigrants to the UK. And two, his hypocrisy and elitism in not following the same guidelines and laws that were imposed on normal people shows that he does not respect the ordinary citizens of the United Kingdom and somehow views him and the rest of the government as elite, which is not a national position. Nationalism means to view all the citizens as equals and all bound to work for the greatness of the nation and not to put their individual interests before the nation, which Boris Johnson and his ministers did last Christmas. So yeah, uh, he's half. He's undeclared. It's not enough points this way or that to say whether he is a nationalist or not. However, if uh, he continues to perform badly in the government, then and continues to be hypocritical and elitist, then I don't think one could consider him a nationalist. And that tag of a nationalist that he has been given by both his supporters and detractors will have to be taken away from him, and that should no longer be considered a nationalist if he continues to be elitist. So yeah, uh, that's what I wanted to say. If you want to see other videos about nationalism in a country outside of South Asia, click here. If you want to see my previous video, click here. If you want to see my sources for this video, click in the description below. Thank you for watching. Vande Mataram.